Something went
What
wrong.
happened? Something went wrong? Oh no, we're live. No, please try closing and reopening your browser window. What? Okay, end live video. We'll start over. What the heck? What is that saying? Look, it's going crazy over here. End live video. End live video. What in the world? Oh, mic's on. Well, we're trying to end it. Well, I guess we're.
Are we still live? Can you
Are we
guys see
still?
us?
What? Can y'all see us? Well, yeah, people are on. Oh my gosh, it keeps popping up saying something went wrong. Please try closing your browser. All right.
You're
Well, we're
live.
gonna. Okay, we're gonna read you. Okay, you can see us. All right. Well, we've got. Okay, hit your heart buttons if you can see us because it says
There's
something
on the
wrong.
screen, so
Please
if
try
you
closing
don't.
and reopening your browser window. It's Sunday night service.
Sunday night service.
I can't believe this. This is crazy. We can't see. There's a big thing in front of us. I haven't seen Dr. Motley since the last week of September.
It's been
Last
crazy
week of
hectic,
September.
and
He has been gone.
been traveling a lot for work and a lot of family stuff. It's been a bit hectic.
Absolutely.
And it's been a bit hectic. But
Well,
now we're
we
back.
are on. Okay, good. Hit your buttons because we've got a huge white thing on top of us that says something has gone wrong.
Yeah.
Please try closing and reopening your browser. So we're not going to. We're just going to do it like this,
Yes.
and then I'm going to hit my phone. And guess what, guys? We are talking gratitude tonight. I'm grateful that you all can see me.
I'm
And I'm
grateful again.
And we
We're
can't see
grateful.
you, but we've got our phone pulled up here. Whoops. Oh, whoops. We had our
Moment.
phone pulled up here, and then we're going to follow it here.
Questions
All right,
too.
there we go. Oh, Ella, you're at work. You're supposed to be at work. You're at Whole Foods. You should not be watching Sunday night service. Don't tell your boss. Okay, gratitude. All right,
Gratitude.
guys, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? We are going to be talking about the attitude of gratitude and your healing journey.
Exactly.
Does gratitude help people live longer? Does it help them have a better journey? Does it help them have less heart disease or anxiety or depression? And we're going to talk about what the research shows on that. And he had no idea what we're going to talk about. Actually, he thought we were going to talk about electromagnetic fields.
Yes.
And we're going to do that in January and the dangers of EMFs. But you just said you are reading a book.
No,
What are
when you said do the one about gratitude, I have a book that's called The Science of Gratitude. It's literally, and I have it at home, and I started reading it because you said do your research, so I started reading up on it, and it is a book about like what we're talking about tonight, about the research behind the science behind it, and how science and how the spirit of gratitude meld, which is, you guys see it every day, but it really is astounding how people heal and how quickly they can heal just having a grateful attitude, grateful heart.
Being grateful, and it's interesting because I am so grateful every day. I say thank you Jesus, because I know what it's like to be sick. I know what it's like to be on food stamps for 5 years and a medical card and to not be able to afford anything. And I know I'm so grateful for a practice to where I get to do what I love every day, and I have patients just like you who just they just do the hard work, and they're so grateful for us.
They are,
I've got a thing on here. We're not going to read it, but it's a testimony from a girl from Teresa Weaver. No, it's too long, but it's how grateful she is for, the help that she's been given and how her body's healing. I'm so grateful and thankful to God, and it's just unbelievable. So, here's the thing. Grateful people have an edge on the not so grateful when it comes to their health, according to research. So Dr. Emmons is the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude. And he says in some studies that he's done, grateful people have stronger immune systems, right?
Yep.
Lower blood pressure.
Yes.
Better sleep quality.
Yes. Okay.
A reduced risk of heart disease. And they report fewer aches and pains.
Fewer joint pains.
Yeah.
Being grateful.
They also get more regular exercise and they eat a healthier diet.
Wow.
Grateful people do. More grateful people do. So I wonder why they eat better, and I wonder why they get more exercise. I don't know that. I don't know that answer.
I read one study about gratitude, how certain areas of the brain are accentuated or lit up when they do like a brain test, and they find the electrical components within the brain, what lights up with gratitude. And we talk about appetite though. they were saying that certain hormones in your digestive tract are changed, like ghrelin, which is like appetite control.
Yes.
And there was other one like a tyrosine phosphatase, and I'm not trying to get all technical, guys, but they were saying that those hormones, the breakdown of those hormones were accentuated by the gratitude, which means this, like people's diets were actually, or their digestion was actually regulated by gratitude. Like it actually helped enzymes break down properly in their diet. Which kind of is
just by your attitude,
just by your
of
thoughts.
Gratitude.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
It is something.
That'd be a good book, The Attitude of Gratitude. You know, grateful people are reported to be more optimistic and happy, and they better mitigate adverse experiences. So they navigate adverse experiences better than other people, and they have stronger interpersonal bonds with other people.
Totally.
That's something. Is gratitude, and I had written this out. He didn't say this. Is it a noun? Is gratitude a noun? Is it a verb? Is gratitude a feeling? Is it a virtue? Is it an attitude? Is it a moral sentiment? Is it a skill? Wow. Is it a coping response? It's actually been conceptualized in research to be all of the above.
Wow.
A verb, a noun, an attitude, a coping response. Isn't that something?
It is.
Gratitude. I mean, we really don't think about it. Maybe once a year, we really think about it at Thanksgiving, right? What are you grateful for? And this is interesting. Cultivating gratitude in children. So I was the guest on a podcast 2 weeks ago, The Well. Jessica Ridley has a podcast called The Well, The Parent Well, and it is great. And I was a guest on there at 5:30 in the morning. We did this. Well, we did it at 5:30 because that's the only time we had. Both of us. She's a single mom of 4 kids. And so anyway, I talked to her about this because it's about kids. There's been studies that show that parents who cultivate gratitude may have children that also cultivate gratitude and have a greater life satisfaction and well-being. They also have less physical health problems and psychopathology in adulthood. Wow. The children do. Listen to this. Teens who report levels of gratitude upon entering high school, right, are happier, more satisfied with life, and they're less depressed at graduation time. Dr. Dan Baker wrote this in the book, What Happy People Know. Okay. Oh, wow. And what he wrote is that it is impossible to be in a state of appreciation and fear at the same time.
Oh, that's amazing.
Isn't that cool? Think about that, people. It's impossible to be in a state of appreciation and fear at the same time.
I was reading in that book, they were talking about how the areas of your brain that light up when you're grateful.
Yes.
And they said that it would light up in certain areas in the lateral parts of your brain.
Yes.
And they said that when it lit up, that it actually would hinder anybody from initiating anxiety. Like lighting up the area of gratitude inhibits anxiety from firing.
That's right. Blocks it. Blocks it.
So
you can't be grateful and anxious at the same time. Isn't that something?
Wow.
Yes. Hit your heart buttons for that. That's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
And we don't. I mean, I do go through life being grateful now. There have spent lots of years just flying through, and I'm still flying through life. But I am
You're not
so
just flying through.
Grateful.
You are hyper speeding
I am
through
so
life right
grateful
now.
for the fact that I am healthy enough and I get to fly through life. I mean, you know, I really am. Gratitude may also benefit people with various medical and psychological challenges. So here we go. Yeah. For example, there was a study that found that grateful cardiac patients. Mm-hmm. So patients who've had a heart attack, but they're still grateful, right? Yeah. They have better sleep, less fatigue, and lower levels of cellular inflammation. And another study found that heart failure patients who kept a gratitude journal for 8 weeks were more grateful and had reduced signs of inflammation afterwards. What I've built my entire practice on, inflammation.
Wow.
And I've been missing the gratitude part with patients. Talking to them about it.
I'm thinking about it now. Right? Like I should tell, like that's amazing.
I mean, these are studies on inflammation and gratitude. I'm focusing on gut, which is important. But you know, if you're not grateful, isn't that something? You could have higher levels of cellular inflammation. Several studies have also found that more grateful people experience less depression and are more resilient following traumatic events.
More resilient, like they can handle it a little bit better.
Yes. And so I have a whole thing in here about resiliency, but in general, more grateful people are happier, more satisfied with their lives. they are less materialistic, and they're less likely to suffer from burnout.
Wow.
From burnout.
Which a lot of
yes, I don't have burnout right now because I have set some boundaries.
You set boundaries. You're the best at boundaries.
I have set some boundaries, and I am getting out more and doing things more. And I'm not burned out. I feel really good about things right now. And I tell you, because I'm honest about how I feel. And like, oh man, I got to stop. Yes, less materialistic and less likely to suffer from burnout. Okay. Burnout. Yeah, keep talking.
Less burnout, because when you talked about like less inflammation in the book, they were talking about inflammatory response, how they said that when a person thinks a negative thought, that the body will initiate what they call our adaptive immune system, which means the immune portion of our bodies that creates antibodies, that if it sees an enemy, it tags the enemy, and then it sends all of our killer cells out to get it. So they call it a Th2 response, but they say it's that people who were not in gratitude basically had higher amounts of that Th2 in their body.
These are inflammatory markers.
What? They said the people who were
this
born
is
grateful
so
didn't
huge
have
to
it.
me. I mean, it's so huge. So we really need to be adding the whole gratitude part of what we're doing in our practice with patients. I mean, you need to keep a gratitude journal, and we need to see that when they come back to see us.
That's a great idea. A gratitude journal.
I can't believe it. I don't have a pen, but yes, I need to write it.
The attitude of gratitude.
The attitude of gratitude.
That's what you need to do. Like they do book right there.
So the research is emerging, right, in the field of positive emotions fostering physical health, right?
Yes.
There's lots of studies around this topic, but one of the things we've seen is that those with negative emotions see a rise in cardiovascular disease. Okay. So if you have negative emotions, you have a higher rate of cardiovascular disease. Relaxation techniques reduce blood pressure in those that utilize them. Yeah, you got to utilize them, people. It's just like supplements. I tell people every day, they don't work in the bottle, people. No. You got to utilize the gifts you've been giving. And relaxation is one of them. So there's a study by Rife and Singer that suggested that your physical health is dependent on having quality connections to others and leading a life of purpose. Bingo. Because I think so many people are so discouraged and so distraught and down because they don't think they have a purpose.
Do you think that when people come to you, like in the office, we see it a lot. I have many patients. I would say the majority of my patients, they're just, many of them, like, they don't know what I want to do with my life.
I know.
Even when they've had a career for like most of it, like for a while, they're like, I don't know what I want to do with my life.
That's right. Well, then figure it out, number one, and make a change. Make a change. If you're if you're not happy, then make the change. I made a 180-degree change, got out of a horrible marriage, had to be on food stamps. That I was grateful for them, but I was humiliated. And I went from a career in fashion design, fashion merchandising, owning a store, doing all those things, made a 180 to a whole nother career in nursing and nurse midwifery. But make the change. If you're not happy, you're the only one responsible for that happiness. I'm telling you right now, there is nobody out there who can make you happy. Other people are not responsible for your happiness. And I have zero tolerance for people who say they're scared to make a change. Bullshit, I call that, because I know what it's like to be down and to need to make a change. And that's it, right?
You change it quick too. I mean, like
you bet. Well, I do things.
I love
quickly.
it. I know you do, but I mean, that's inspirational though. Like you did it like I love that. Like
so, you got to. If you're unhappy with your job, then rethink the way you think about it. If you can't leave it right then, and then lay the groundwork and get your dang ducks in a row to find another job. And it's the same with marriage. If you're not going to get out of it, then change the way you think about it. Because I mean, I'm not against getting out of a bad marriage. I'm not. Now, but I'm more for you staying in it and working it out and getting it worked out. But if things aren't working out, I don't think God wants you in something.
I was going to ask you that. Like, if we're talking about gratitude, like if you're in a relationship, this is just a question. If you're in a relationship that doesn't create gratefulness or gratitude, right? Like, and it's like you are trying your best to make the thing work, and you can see that the other person's not accentuating gratitude, like over both of you.
Exactly.
And does that mean like I don't see why people need to stay in that kind of situation.
Well, I don't either, but what am I to say? I've been single 15 years. I am not by choice. That is true. by choice. I am not ever going to be back in a relationship that doesn't serve me well, and I serve them well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be together here. We're going to walk this path together, or we're not walking this path.
You need somebody. You're saying that you need somebody that will amplify your signal, get you. It builds you stronger. It doesn't make like they. They're not going to
complete me because I'm already complete.
You're not depending on them. So, they're not depending on you, but you just accentuate each other.
That's right. You're going to make my life easier. I'm going to make your life easier. We're going to eat well, travel well, and do life together. I mean, that's just how it's going to be. And I'm going to be so grateful for you, you know, because I am grateful. I know what it's like to be alone. I know what it's like to be in a great relationship. And I'm grateful for both of them. I'm grateful for the nights that I sit here by myself in my pajamas with my hair pulled back and a big old mask on my face and you know, all that. I just am grateful. I am.
That would be the best.
This is the best seasons of my life right now.
That would be another YouTube thing, or like with your mask on.
Oh,
another channel. It'd be so good.
Okay, listen here. Okay, purpose of life. Okay, so then here we go. For more than 2 decades, these people, Zabit and Zen and colleagues, have reported evidence that meditation helps people self-regulate stress, anxiety, chronic pain, and various illnesses. So there's a whole review of this from 2003. I mean, who meditates out there? Do you all meditate? Does anybody meditate? Even if it's for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Who takes the time to actually fill their lungs up? We only use about 15% of our lung capacity, people, and actually meditate and breathe.
Because when you breathe and you meditate, to get even more technical, like what we're doing is, think about it. When you breathe, you create oxygen, right? You bring the oxygen in, and in Chinese medicine, when you expel the lungs and you're pulling things in and out, of course you're getting more oxygen, but it's also letting go of grief and sadness. They say yearning. And the idea of being perfect, because the lungs.
Oh, that's a whole nother series on perfection.
Compelled to be neat. They say like the OCD, the tendency, like I had to make everything perfect. But when you sit down and meditate and get clear-minded, that's when in Chinese medicine is like you're regulating, right? You are taking control of something that's automatic. So your breathing, your heartbeat, your digestions are in a sense automatic. But if you meditate well, you can cross over that boundary and go, I can start to have control over those things that seemingly they can never be controlled. So I'm saying, like when you meditate, what happens is that as you settle down a bit, it's the idea of sitting through your trauma. Like when you sit down and
breathe through your trauma. Just breathe through it. Sit on your mat and breathe through it. Yes. I believe Rodney Yee told me that 15 years ago when I was getting through a divorce. He said, Dani, you just have to peel it off like one layer at a time, like an onion, and breathe through it. Yeah. So building on the observation that when this is another study, formerly depressed individuals see their thoughts and emotions from a wider perspective, right? They are more resilient and resistant to relapse. That's amazing. They also developed a successful therapy that combines mindfulness, meditation, and cognitive therapy. Okay.
Wow.
I know. Here's what I had written about resilience. Being able to move on despite negative stressors, right, does not demonstrate luck on the part of those successful individuals. It's not luck being able to move on, right? But it demonstrates a concept known as resilience.
That's good.
Psychological resilience refers to effective coping and adaptation, although faced with loss, hardship, or adversity. Resilience to certain events has been linked to elasticity in metals.
Wow.
I don't really know what that means.
Like to elasticity metals, like. Oh, that's really
so resilient. So just because I went through a bad divorce, just because I lost everything and got on food stamps and all that and all that, I mean, you're down, but you're not out, people. I mean, you may be down. So that's resilience, bouncing back, figuring out a way. Holy crap, this is not who I am. I don't want to be known for this. I'm not going to get in this cycle. Figure out a way. I mean, if you are heading to Destin on vacation, and you make a bad turn and you're actually heading up to Kalamazoo, Michigan or Detroit, you don't keep going to Detroit.
No, you don't keep going.
You turn around, you make a U-turn, get back and head to Destin.
That is
I mean, for crying out loud. What is it that makes us think we have to keep going in a bad direction?
I would say that, like the way you described it, like when we are going through the adaptation. We talk about the resilience, guys.
Yes.
That our tendency is because how we were programmed, whether it be from a bad relationship, how we were raised by our parents, how we, the hardships we've been through, our resilience is challenged by our programming. So we've been programmed to believe like when we want to change, it's like, oh, something's wrong. I can't do this. Like there's no way I can do this. But they're showing that gratitude helps you turn it around and say, you know what, my programming is not me. Like I don't have to follow my programming anymore. The resilience is like, it's okay to feel this way. Like I don't have to react to my old programming anymore. That's what
right.
That said. Oh.
Isn't that something?
So
there's a whole growing body of research that demonstrates that the physical health benefits of being grateful. But research has only just begun to explore the mechanisms accounting for this great gratitude health relationship, right? So basically what they're saying is we need a whole lot of research on this. Psychosocial health mediates the gratitude physical health link.
Wow.
It's there. So there's a study that examined whether dispositional gratitude predicts physical health among adults. And if so, does this relationship occur because grateful individuals lead healthier lives, either psychologically or physically?
Wow.
Right? Grateful individuals experience a wide variety of social and psychological health benefits, right? And there's a bunch of studies here, 2011, 2010. They show that grateful individuals tend to be more likely to count their blessings in life, even if they're down for a minute, while seeing their experiences as a gift. So that whole 5 years of hell I went through on food stamps is a gift to me. And going back to school and in the biggest nightmare of my life, trying to get through school and raise kids, that was a gift. I mean, I'm resilient, clearly, but that's a gift because you know what? When I have a patient sitting in my office who is in tears, crying, going through a bad divorce or thinking about a divorce or just down and out, has lost everything, I just point to that picture on the wall that has food stamps on one end and my acceptance letter to Vanderbilt on the right beside it, and say that there's where you are, but you can go right there. You got to make a decision and you got to get up. Now, I'm not talking about pulling yourself out of depression. I'm saying be resilient, pull yourself up, figure out what it is. You are a child of the Most High King. And if you are not designed to be down, to be depressed and to be out, there's no out until we are up there, or called home. There is no out. Okay. They tend to be more likely to count their blessings in life while seeing their experiences as gifts to be thankful for, whether negative or positive experiences. Moreover, dispositional gratitude demonstrates a profile of correlates seemingly indicative of better physical health. Ooh. For instance, grateful individuals tend to report greater vitality and agency, along with less anxiety. Wow, in addition, gratitude is linked to traits indicative of better physical health, including conscientiousness, emotional stability, and optimism.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
That's so good.
So accordingly, one could predict that a grateful disposition should be a healthy disposition.
That's so great. I mean, like, I love the way you just said optimism, because
optimism.
Like when she said about how counting your blessings in life when she had food stamps, that would be, in my mind, I'm thinking with you guys here, that any hard situation that does come into our life, because they are going to come, we know that, we can look at that and go, how could this seriously be a blessing to me in the future, and how could it be a blessing to somebody else? It's like literally that optimism, like, this is going to turn out okay. If I'm a child of God, that's what we want to trust and believe, that somehow it will turn out okay.
It's going to turn out okay. And I'm telling you, it may not turn out the way you think it's going to, right? I mean, I told Ella, I've told you all this before. I told Ella one day driving down the road, she was complaining about something that a normal 20-year-old does, whatever. I said, listen, kid, nobody's living the life they thought they were going to live. Oh, I mean, for God's sake, I never in a million years thought that I was going to be doing this journey alone. And what have you, and all these things. I never knew. I never thought this was going to be a life. Now, this is not a bad life. I love what I do. Yep. I am financially secure because I have busted my butt, but I did not end up with the forever happy marriage. I did not end up with children that didn't end up with problems. I mean, we've all had issues. this is not what I thought when I was in college. And man, I was going to rock the world and move to New York City, which I did, and work as a fit model and all that stuff. This is not what I thought. So, but it's great. I mean, oh my gosh.
It is.
I have stories to tell that are going to make people's toenails curl when I'm old and in my assisted living Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville home.
You can totally do it. She's going to be in Florida, like on the Key somewhere, and I'll be like, why is there every selection of rum and tequila on it? She's like, it's just good. But, I love that when you have the evidence of gratefulness, because when you say like have food stamps, had children, and you're on programs. I was talking to my mom, a little Korean mom today, and she said this.
Korean.
We were watching a program, guys, real quick, and it was showing these ladies who are in their 65 to 70-year-old range in Korea. My mom's from a small place called Yangwon, and back then the men in the city, I'm not putting down men, guys, I'm a guy, but in Korean culture they said no two parents, only one. They say this, only one parent rules the roost, because they thought it was a very conflictive idea. So the women never learned in that range. They weren't allowed to go to school very much. They literally would just say, hey, you can go to school and learn how to write your name and do a few things, and that's all you have.
For girls?
For girls. So you have a lot of these ladies in Korean culture that are like between the ages of 60 to 70 that don't know how to really read a ton or write a ton. All that to say is this. I remember I was talking to my mom. She goes, like, she remembers like when for her and her sisters, her dad came in and took the books away, all her learning books. And my mom started to cry.
Oh.
And my mom was looking at me, but my mom told me, she's looked at me, she goes, you know what? But I can't be sorry about it. She goes, my mom's a really smart lady. She would have been a really big businesswoman like you, and she would have done a whole bunch of things, but she goes, I can't. She goes, somehow my life turned out the way it was supposed to turn out. And I was like, that's the way you got to look at life.
That's
we don't know why it happened.
That's right.
Somehow we got to look at life.
That's right. Oh, Mama.
Mama Chong. Oh.
Mama Chong.
You gave me a little tear.
But she did do so much. So look what she did. She's a seamstress. She's like a master.
She killed it.
Seamstress and stuff.
But I mean, like the idea of, like you say, optimism, like you pick yourself like a path and you say, I'm going to do this.
But she came from a culture and in a country to where she could not buck the system there. You weren't allowed to do that. You can't do that. We can buck the system, ladies here and gentlemen. We can, but there is nobody telling us what we can and can't do. And if there is, you need to separate yourself from them, because I'm telling you, we report to one person, or I do, and and there's all different people that I'm not saying you have to believe in God, but I do. And that's the one person who I report to. I'm not reporting to anybody. Now, if you have a job and things like that, don't go in tomorrow and raise 10 kinds of heck and work and say, well, Dani said we don't have to, report to anybody. Yes, you do. You got jobs, you got paychecks. Now, unless you want to be your own boss, and then you have an office manager, and I report to Allie, and Allie tells me what I'm doing. But your mama had a totally different deal, but yet she's grateful about it. Well, just like I remember the first sociology book I had to read, I think, in school, oh my gosh, Viktor Frankl. The book about in the concentration camps, and he survived on why some people survived in concentration camps and some people did not. Yeah. I have that book. What is the name of that book? Well, it doesn't matter, but oh gosh, that makes me so mad. And he had an attitude of gratitude in that concentration camp, and he came out to write about it. And then we all learned about it in college, which I've now forgotten, but that was 1984. Speaking of 1984, people.
No, I'm gonna ask you about that.
1984. Look here. Look what I got today. Does anybody recognize what these shoes are? I walked in. He walked in. He goes, oh my gosh, I love your shoes. Does anybody know what these are? If you know, hit your heart buttons. I have looked for these shoes for, years and years. I went to New York City last summer looking for these shoes. These are the original Tretorns from 1892 from Sweden.
Tretorns.
Oh my gosh, I wore Tretorns all through college. I didn't have any money in college either, but I would work my jobs just to get Tretorns because I was a fashion design major, and I had to had the ones with a little plaid. I'm very grateful that these were at the box today when I got home. So good. I'm so grateful, but I don't even know how we got off on that. Viktor Frankl.
The Man's Search for Meaning.
The Man's Search for Meaning. That's it. That's it right there.
Like when we talk about meaning and the gratitude about where you were talking about how much gratefulness, like in my mom or anybody else that like decides to do something for their life. Like I was reading a book about another lady that was like Corey Ten Boom.
Oh yeah,
and they were talking about being grateful. And in the book, that psychology book I've been reading, they say that the main tendency we have is when we're grateful, the thing we'll tell ourselves is that it's a lie. Like you can't be that grateful and experience like you're being fake. I'm like, no, that's the programming you've had in your body that tells you that's a lie. Like you're trying to change your program to say, I can be grateful about many things in my life. That was and they said that it was the hardest thing. So I saw this other research study. They took these ladies and guys that were in nursing homes, and they're all above like 70s and 80s. So the kids didn't know this, but the kids were like, they said, can we do this thing where we can make them like or love what they loved in their life? Like, can we find something they're appreciative of, right?
Oh.
So they would get these people that were basically in bed, never moving, and they started playing like Elvis. They would play the Beatles. They would play Frank Sinatra. And they said these people that are in bed would get up and start dancing.
You bet. That's the power of music. That's the music and memory.
Like they were
right
great. They loved it, and say they stopped it. And after 2 weeks out after the experiment, they all went back to their beds.
You bet they did, because the music portion of your brain, the music memory area of your brain, is the last area of the brain to go.
No, really?
Very last area. So I know this through dementia research and music and memory. So the whole book, the whole movie. Gosh, I have it over there right now because I just got a thing in the mail to support music and memory today. Anyway, that documentary is phenomenal. Absolutely. When you put on music in a senior living home, I mean, this should be in every senior living home should have music and memory iPods so that they have their music from their generation. And they get up. Well, that's what we do. It costs $10 to do that, to buy an iPod. You can pay for $10. You can do this through music and memory. So if you guys are looking for a place to, if I had it, I literally see it right there, the piece of paper. If you guys are looking for a place to donate to at the end of the year, music and memory is a big one for dementia and Alzheimer's. And for $10, you can, I can't remember what the cost is for the tiny little iPod shuffle with their playlist on it. And they actually come to life. Oh, it's fascinating.
This is great.
Yeah. And so, well, we'll talk about it. So anyway, here's a study. Positive effects of gratitude on physical health was significantly mediated by lower reported levels of perceived loneliness and stress. So the more grateful you are, the less lonely and stressed you come across as well. Wow. So those findings are important given that evidence that gratitude can be cultivated, people.
It can be
Maybe
cultivated.
We're not born grateful. No. We're born selfish. Look at a 2-year-old. They're selfish. They're not grateful.
What are the first words that come out of people's mouth, kids' mouths? No.
No.
We all say no. Mine.
No. Mine. So we're not born great. When I say this, don't come send me nasty notes or anything. I don't know that we're born great. I don't think we are. We're born selfish.
I don't know any kid that ever says yes.
Gratitude. Gratitude is cultivated, right? It can be cultivated, and it may serve to buffer against stress and loneliness while improving somatic health symptoms in the general population. This was research from 2018. Bingo. Cultivate gratitude. Work on it every single day, starting today, tonight, and then tomorrow, do something different. That's really right? Yeah. Says, and I just said, while these findings are all promising, we need further research to confirm the relationship between gratitude and physical health and to describe how the link may exactly occur right there. And then these are all different ways to cultivate gratitude. I mean, I don't know. The struggle ends when gratitude begins, is what somebody told me recently. Good. Isn't that
that's
something?
So good.
And then there's this quote from Cicero that I wrote down that says, gratitude. It is not only the greatest one, but also the mother of all other remaining virtues.
That's right? One thought I was thinking, like when you were talking about cultivation, that gratitude in some fashion has to be that one emotion that covers so much ground. Like when I said we talk about negativity, we talk about fear, we talk about pensiveness, we talk about grief, sadness, yearning, crying, we talk about, ups and downs, you can't figure things out. Gratitude has to be that one emotion. It is the emotion that talks about in research that covers all the grounds. It's like it's almost like it's not kryptonite, the magic pill kind of thing that when you take that.
Kryptonite's bad.
Kryptonite's
right?
bad.
That's
Gratitude's
Superman's
good.
thing. Kryptonite makes him weak and all that stuff. So gratitude is good. And I'm grateful that one night, a year and whatever ago, we were sitting at my kitchen table
and we just started talking.
Let's just do something on Facebook, right? Let's just do. Well, we didn't know what we were going to do, and then here we've got. Do you know we have like close to 40 Sunday night services?
40.
Isn't that something? They're on the YouTube channel on Dani
really
Williamson Wellness. They're all on there. Brad's been putting them all up, and so. I mean, how grateful am I for that? When we drop dead someday, when we're old, and I'm in my Jimmy Buffett retirement center,
you're never gonna die.
We're gonna live on forever.
I'm gonna be that guy that's be like, guys, I'll be on my deathbed and be like, well, I guess Dan's gonna keep doing the show. And I'm done. I'm done. It's all right.
All right. I'm gonna be grateful for the decades we had together.
And then look, you're gonna tap me on the nose. She's gonna go, be grateful.
This is right. Like, be grateful. It's been a good life.
It's been a good life. We're gonna have so
move
much
on
fun.
out, and it's time to come on.
Look, Harlan loves
Harlan. He loves you. Harlan's down here. But what are some ways that you guys cultivate gratitude? What do you do? There's a million different ways. Oh my Lord, I typed up 40 different things. But what do you do? Make a list of things that you take for granted.
Oh yes.
Like running water, electricity, a bath, a toothbrush. Right? Supermarkets. And then imagine a life without them. Your car. Wow. If you own a car and you own a house, you are in the top 1% of wealth in the world. Wow. In the world. Wow. Right? I may have been on food stamps, but I owned a car and I owned a home. Yeah. And I was in the top 1%. I didn't know that at the time. I wasn't thinking I was so grateful during that season. So in hindsight, I look back and I think, man, I should have been a little bit more grateful. If you don't think we live in a great country, man, you need to go somewhere else. Yes, I mean, just think that. Go on a mission trip and you'll see how grateful, or you'll see what a great country we are. Smile at someone. When someone else gossips, pay a compliment to the person that they're gossiping about. What? Showing a sign of gratitude, right? Somebody's talking about somebody, say something amazing about the person they're talking about. Right? Be great.
Preach it. I'm telling you that.
Let someone cut in the line at the grocery, right? Or the coffee line or whatever, if they seem like they really did it. That's right. Mail a handwritten letter to someone who's made your life better in some way, big or small. A handwritten letter. Who does that anymore?
Nobody does. No. I mean, really, I don't.
I got a Christmas card at the Hashimoto's Christmas party Friday night. A patient of mine gave me some wine that we're drinking tonight, by the way.
So good.
And the most beautiful letter written on thank you. It was the most unbelievable letter of gratitude on what I've done the last 7 years with this group and stuff. And it meant so much to me.
It has to mean something when somebody actually takes the time to write it.
They hand wrote it. It was gorgeous. And I read it like a million times that night. Yeah. So donate what you can, time, money, or goods. So let me tell you about donating and serving, being a servant, having a servant's heart. You talk about taking your mind off of your troubles when you're giving back to somebody else, when you are on a mission trip, or you're just writing a secret note and a check or whatever to some single mom, right, out there and sending it off. You talk about it takes your mind off of what's going on with you, right?
Wow.
And it makes you more grateful. There's a website called charitynavigator.org. Mm-hmm. So it talks about donating and to the causes that believe that make the world better. And you can at charitynavigator.org, and it gives you all kinds of ideas. Turn to someone and say, "I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad you're here." But it's so good.
Oh my gosh! Oh, listen to this one. Listen without distraction to a friend who needs listening to.
That was one of
through the heart,
because
I'm guilty. Okay, what was the experiment?
The experiment's like if somebody's talking to you and we're talking to each other, if you're at a coffee shop, wherever you're at, is you intentionally look at them right in the eye. And I don't care if Dani sees a really hot looking dude walk past, she's like, I'm not looking at the hot dude. staring right at old man Motley's face.
And I'm not looking at my phone.
That's right.
Checking Instagram.
Do it. But they said that was like what would bring more connection to a person. Like when they said their friend, like between them two, they said that area of gratitude would grow when somebody was focused right between each other.
Isn't that something?
Just
I believe
eye contact.
Eye contact. We've lost the art of eye contact, of writing, of social skills. We're going to talk about in January what day did we say? 6th. We're coming back. We're going to take December off, and we're getting everything ready for next year. But we're going to be talking about how to break up with your phone, and we're going to be talking about electromagnetic fields and all of that, because I'm telling you, these kids, and we have all lost the art of conversation. Yeah. Plus, phones are designed to be addictive. So we're going to be going over all of that. Share your knowledge. Ooh, that's a big one. Yeah. And we do that every week. We share our knowledge. I think if you've been given much, whether it's knowledge or whether it's money or whether it's what have you, you are to give much. Yes. Right? Yes. It's our job to give it back. Exactly. And you need to pay it forward. If somebody's giving you something, then you need to pay it forward.
It's just how in cyclical transitions, they talk about in Chinese medicine, they say it's just like balance. It's like if you receive energy, take it on, it's like you have to give it back out because you have to stay in balance. Like you cannot keep loading energy. You have to like somehow push it back out. So the idea of gratitude is yin yang. It is literally like pull in, push out. You have to do it. It's like, I always say it's like spring cleaning. You can't keep accumulating your house. You have to do some spring cleaning. It's like,
good, I like that.
You have to keep pushing it back out. It's like the idea, like I read this book and I think we talked about it before about like people who declutter and such. Yes. One thought was like about a jacket or whatever that you've had for years and you think, I can't get rid of it. But they said if you're grateful for the idea how much warmth that jacket brought to you, and you went, I want you to bring warmth to somebody else. Like you didn't lose the jacket. You pushed it back out. I mean, I was like, and it's that, guys, it's a simple idea, but I'm not that smart. I was like, give warmth to somebody else.
Give warmth to somebody else. Yeah. I have a lot of jackets out there that
can I get some more ones?
Yeah, you can get some more ones. So leave a personal voicemail instead of texting. There's a powerful intimacy about a human voice. Okay, that's fine, and I think that's great, but I can't stand my voicemail because it fills up, and I'd much rather you text me any day. So, but I get it. Publicly comment a friend on Facebook, Twitter, at a party in front of people. Publicly compliment someone. Isn't that something? Yeah, people like that. People like to be complimented.
Oh, they do.
Right? Tell your folks how lucky you are to be their kid, right? Energy is infectious. Be enthusiastic about plans, projects, and events. I'm enthusiastic. I am definitely. Reach out to important people in your life when something big happens. It's always nice to be among the first to know.
That is truly a very good idea.
Yes.
Guys, that's really good actually, because have you ever had, I had a friend of mine the other day call me up and he goes, this is how we call each other Broseph, like Joseph. He's like, Broseph, gotta call me up. And I was thinking, well, he said Broseph, so it's gotta be good. So I called him up and I was like, man, what's going on? Because we don't get to talk to each other that much. It's like once every, 4 weeks. He's like, me and my girl, he goes, and his wife, he's like, me and my wife are expecting. And I was like, oh, I think he was the second person that knew. And I was like, oh man, like,
isn't that great?
You're gonna name him after me, right?
That's exactly right.
Right? Motley.
I got 3 babies in the office right now that need to be named Danny. They're pregnant right now. I'm like, they can't come up with names. I said, I think Danny is a fabulous name. It could be a boy, it could be a girl. You can name him Danielle if it's a boy.
Could.
I mean, if it's a girl.
So great.
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens.
Right, let's do it.
Write a note to someone's manager to report great service. Yes, do that. How difficult is that? I mean, people put bad stuff all the time out there. Nobody says anything good, right? If there's a blog or a website, a podcast, or a Facebook live show that you love, and I didn't write this, so this is send an email to the authors to say how much it means in your life.
I agree.
Right?
Completely.
And we get great things all the time.
And you know what?
That means a ton to me when we get something that says thank you.
And I know that when you have it, as many people that love you, I'm serious. If somebody comes and says something to you like, Danny, I really appreciate it, you're more prone to probably personally reach out to those people.
You bet.
I've had friends that are very popular, and you do too. We have some friends, and they've become close friends with people, just like person saying, like, you really affected my life. And I was like, so you just started talking to them? They're like, yeah, we're like buddies now.
Yeah.
It's just because gratefulness.
Yeah, it's interesting. When you're out in public, like I was out, well, actually, where I bought this necklace, there's a patient of mine, and I can't say her name because she's a patient, but she was there's an art thing downtown Franklin, and I bought it. I bought this there. But this lady walks up to me, and I looked like yesterday's breakfast. I looked terrible. She goes, are you Dani Williamson? I said, I am. She goes, I watch your Sunday night service all the time. And she took the time to come across that store to me, and she said, thank you so much for what you do. She said, I take notes and I write things, and you all are funny. And every time you say vagina, it cracks me up. We're going to talk vaginas here because here's a menstrual cup.
Oh, stop. Oh,
we are in a minute. So she said, it cracks me up every time you do that. Look.
In my face.
But she took the time to come across and say that. And how sweet. Look, vagina. And anyway, so, and you know, pay it forward. So anyway, I'm going to end here.
Like, I want to say, there's some great things that are talking about you. It's great. So wonderful to hear you guys talk about. Thanks, Mike, about the contribution of emotional, psychological perspective.
Yes.
One of them is like, what is the name? Okay, the dementia patients. What is the name of the organization again? The one that is the music.
Music and memory. Do me a favor. Can you get up? Because I can't get up. Can you grab that? Underneath that singing bowl is an envelope. I saved it. It's all about music and bring me the whole thing. This just came in the mail today. It's music and memory. And I had supported them last year or whatever. So giving the gift of music. So the name of the actual movie, Alive Inside was the documentary.
Alive Inside.
When my mom was diagnosed, I went on a bandwagon looking for what I could do. And I found this documentary, Alive Inside. Well, I cried, and Mike and I watched this several years ago. The story of music and memory. Okay, so music and memory has now become an international movement. It sure has. So anyway, this is information on how to support music and memory. And Alive Inside is the documentary. And I'm telling you, you need to watch it. So it says, make a donation today and receive a free ebook. How to create a playlist for a loved one. You know, so, and they use these little iPod shuffles, right? So you could give $50. Okay, $75,
really
$75. Anyway, it's called Music and Memory, and look them up. We have a local chapter as well. And I've been, like I said, I've been working with them a little bit for a couple of years. And Music and Memory. That's a good organization. And it can help your loved ones. One of your loved ones could get a playlist from them. So there's a couple of different websites, ways to cultivate gratitude, right? There's one called Grateful, and it's a gratitude journal app online, Grateful. And you can just type in what you're grateful for. There's one called thegratitudejar.com, and that's a website where you share gratitude with others, right? So you're putting it out there, what your gratitude is, right? Movingart.com is fascinating. This is 15 videos on gratitude. Movingart.com. It's a whole website. I was blown away by this right there. But I bought this weekend. Actually, I went to Swanee and I went hiking and all kinds of stuff. It was so much fun. And I cannot believe this. This is it's a little hanging thing here. Whoops, I opened it. It says gratitude.
Okay.
It unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough. And more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion to clarity. And it can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of our past, and it brings peace for today, and it creates a vision for tomorrow.
Wow. And all God's people said,
woo, amen. Thank you, Jesus. Gratitude. I bought that. I know, I was so grateful to have found this yesterday at the Mountain Goat in Swanee. I know, the Mountain Goat. Can you imagine? Where I had the most unbelievable gluten-free, dairy-free pizza I have ever had in my life. They used olive oil that was all spiced up and just vegetables on top, and it was to die for. It was the first time I've eaten a gluten-free, no sort of fake cheese or any cheese on this pizza. It was phenomenal. You talk about gratitude.
Gratitude for
man, that was good. Listen,
like one
I don't
question,
know if there's people
I
on
gotta
here,
get your
but
idea. Like this, one of them was really great. Sarah, she goes,
what did it
how
say?
do you like?
Tell us
what's
your ways too on here that
She
you guys
says,
cultivate
more
gratitude.
important question of the night: how do you all decide if you drink red or white wine?
It's only, well, I'm the only one who supplies the wine because he just drives in real fast.
Oh, come on. I'll bring wine next time. I'm going to do it.
No. This is what I'm saying. It's
She's
white
always-
because I like white.
I like white wine too, but I do like it almost better than red. Don't get me wrong. I like red wine.
I do. I mean, I have to have the perfect red wine.
Yeah.
Now, I just ordered Dry Farms wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting
It's
6
delicious,
bottles
guys.
in for Christmas. I love
If you guys don't do Dry Farms, do Dry Farms sulfite free, pesticide free.
They are the best wine you will ever have in all your whole life.
You get up the next morning and you're not unhappy you drank it. You're like, you get up and you're like, I actually feel pretty good.
Yeah. So the only reason we choose what we're drinking is what I have here because I'm a cheap, like I got this as a gift on Friday night. So I'm just a tightwad. I don't buy a lot of wine. So whatever it is that we have here is what I get, what I use.
It's just like, it's the funnest when we have the small things that we're grateful for, like wine. Like I was talking to my buddy yesterday.
Yes.
And just meeting up with your friends and having a glass of wine or having a cocktail, just those interactions, like how much gratefulness is brought up. And I'm like, how much it improves your health? Like we talk about heart health, we talk about brain health. And I think that it's amazing that God allows something as small as, I say it's small, as an interaction, as a talk between friends, as somebody sharing a story that actually produces physical healing to you.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I say that to my mind. I'm like, I'm completely dumbfounded by it. And like when we talk about having a gratitude list, like we can share back and forth.
Yes.
I will be honest with you. Like sometimes I have patients that come in and I'm not having not say a bad day. I'm having a day where it's like just there's people that have complaints and such. And I've had some that could literally just say, hey, Dr. Chris, I'm really thankful for you. And give me and I had some give me coffee and I went like,
oh yeah.
The whole day changes because I got a cup of coffee from a patient and somebody said I was thank you. And I'm like, and it doesn't mean that the other patients weren't thinking that. It's just maybe their brains and my brain wasn't trained on being
I like coffee too, people. You know,
she likes
330 Mallory Station.
She likes wine,
Lane.
coffee,
Mason's
chocolates, dark chocolates, particularly organic, pesticide free, grown on a farm that has these small fairies that go around and use.
I'm not complicated at all.
Anyway.
I also like Hershey's Kisses, which is probably the worst chocolate a person could ever eat. But listen what I'm grateful for. So the cup, the menstrual cup, I'm very grateful for this. Let me tell you. Well, you could put it on the end of your nose. That has a big use. Okay, let me tell you, people at the office, if those of you are still putting Roundup and glyphosate in your vagina and bleach, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, it is time to switch to a cup. I don't care if you get our Dot cup or if you get okay, listen. No, let me tell you the reason I bought the Dot cup, okay? So it's medical grade, all right? It lasts for 10 years. It's $34. 10 years. 10 years. You change it every 12 hours, all right? But listen, so I bought 12 for the office, and I've got to reorder this week because we've almost sold them all. I bought 12. They donated 12 to girls in Africa because girls in Africa miss 60 to 90 days a year of school because they can't go. They don't have menstrual products. They don't have anything, and they can't go to school if they're bleeding. They can't go, so they miss their education. Infuriates me. So I love a company that gives back. And Mary Chabanco, yes, her daughter bought one of these, and so I'm telling you, if you're putting $34, I calculated it up. It's about $1,500 in 10 years you spend on tampons and pads. Yes, and this booger pops right in, and we could have a whole class on this, what I'm talking about tonight. I'm grateful for this company because my patients who use a menstrual cup, if you use a menstrual cup or you know somebody who does, click on it. Click your heart button. They love it. You bleed less. You don't cramp as much. You get the pesticides that Roundup and the bleach out of your vagina. Yeah. Right.
And it's a serious matter. It's not.
This is not no joke.
It is truly
I don't care if you use this and use something else other than traditional tampons and pads. Doesn't matter to me what you use. But I like for you to come to my office and see me because every one I buy, they give one. Yeah. And that makes me happy. So every one you buy, you're helping a child and a woman to soon to be a woman, or she's already having her period, actually get an education.
That's super
That
cool.
means a lot to me.
It is. I would say that like this concept, or not even the concept, this kind of giving though for something that serious.
That, and it's just like the cookies. You haven't been in to get our cookies that we have now from, she's Down syndrome.
What?
She's her own gluten-free cookie business
What?
in South Carolina. I ate them all and I don't have them.
They're so good, guys.
Oh my gosh.
We've got cookies.
I
at
ate
the
every
office.
single one
They're
of them.
delicious.
I bought 36
Where are they?
boxes. And they're
And I ate
72
them.
boxes, and we only have like 10 boxes left. They're phenomenal. Come get them. It's called Reason to Bake, gluten-free. She has Down syndrome. She wanted to have a meaningful job,
sweet.
and all of her friends are employed in their certified gluten-free bakery in Brevard, North Carolina. They make amazing Christmas gifts. We've got chocolate chip, molasses cookies, and then we're getting in white chocolate macadamia and something else. And then I have one other big news for you all. For you people who are WP thyroid patients, who are very sad, you don't even know this.
No.
WP thyroid's back this week.
What?
Yeah! Woohoo! WP thyroid is back this week. Randy
He's
over
back.
at Allen Hill Pharmacy will have a ton of it
What?
this week, as will my office. I'm going to be distributing it in my office, WP.
I
Okay?
can't believe it.
65 milligrams is the dose that's coming back in, right? So 1 grain. Okay.
1 grain.
So we will be getting that this week, but only for I can't distribute it for anybody else because it's a prescription.
Become a
but
patient.
yes. So Randy at Allen Hill, though, will have plenty of it. I also am using their adrenal and their iThyroid. This iodine is amazing, but this adrenal supplement, I think, is the best one I've ever done. She gave me a bottle to try. I took 2 days of it. It was like constant energy all day long.
Oh, I need to get this. You
Yeah.
know why
This
it's
is
so
amazing.
good? I want to tell you guys
look at
something.
this.
It has Korean ginseng, and I'm half
Korean. Well, but it's got cordyceps in it as well, and some glandular. I can't believe this. Yeah, look at him, little turkey.
What? I'm just
Korean.
saying.
Yes, I am
It's
so
so
excited
good.
about this, and the
Anything
price
Korean
is
is
great.
great. Just ask the ladies.
Woo!
Don't ask the ladies.
Listen to you.
Don't ask the ladies. Okay.
So
this is
anyway,
super
I'm grateful.
good.
I'm grateful that WP is back in stock, 1 grain, and I'm loving this. I have been taking it. I took it all weekend long. I was
Right,
wound
it's
up.
really
Isn't that good?
It has L-theanine, epimedium, astragalus. It has ashwagandha, rhodiola, ginseng.
Yep.
It's got erythro in it. Oh man.
It'll be here this week for us. That's just the sample bottle. So yeah. So anyway, this is good news. This is really good
This
news.
is great.
Yes. So what's going on at your office?
We're doing this week, we're doing a small session on Instagram and Facebook about brain health. We're going to do that.
Good.
We're collaborating with one of my friends. He's a naturopath out in California, Dr. Bryant, where he gets like she talks to so many health care practitioners. So we got so many people around like the world that are like talking about brain health. So I'm trying to go and do some simple suggestions about how to increase health in the brain. We've talked about this before in many Facebooks before, and going to do that. I go to the Midwest, Kansas City, to go do acupuncture seminars, and then I get to go to Disney World
What?
with my godson. I'm going to go to Disney World
Oh,
for 2 days. And
how
then,
fun is that?
And then I get to, guys, I may be heading to Hawaii at the end of the year because it's
This
for
is
health
why
talk.
we're not meeting till January.
Because I gotta do
here,
that.
because he's busy. But
You
we're gonna take
know,
a break
it's-
and we're gonna regroup and get our list together. So if you guys are on here, Teresa Weaver, I love you, and I actually have your testimony. This is what I was going to read, but then I thought, no, it's so long and it's so beautiful, I'm not going to read it. But I am grateful, Teresa, for you and your husband and the hard work that you have done to heal your body. She's lost over 50 pounds.
What?
She was in bed, her life. Yeah, she wrote this amazing testimony on Facebook, and it just says, God bless you. It says, just
Every time I see her name come up, I think of that song, Dreamweaver.
no, well, she's pretty dreamy. I'm telling you, she and her husband are just phenomenal, and she's worked hard. But guys, we love you. This is going to be our last show for the rest of the year, but put your, whatever you want us to talk about, write it on here, put it on here, and we'll go through and we will get our schedule together. We'll start back in January. January the 6th is the next one. So it's about a month away.
I apologize,
That's
guys.
my birthday month, so we're going to be celebrating all month long
What?
for my birthday because I'm going to be 53 years old. 53.
You don't look 53 at all. I'm not saying 53 she looks like she doesn't, does she? Looks great.
I don't know about that, but
what, like when you
your
walk
birthday's coming up, what, the 30th of December?
30th.
Is it really? I can't believe I remember that.
I'll be, guys.
Are you 40?
I'll be 40.
40. He's going to be 40. I'm going to be 53. I can't believe it. So we are going to be rocking this decades from now. All right. You have to eat well, sleep well, move well, poop well, decrease stress, and you have to have community, and you need to be grateful. I need to add that to my 6, 7 steps.
And you got to have some white wine that is cultivated by pollen from fairies that have been flown in from Amsterdam. When you get those, make sure the moonlight's correct, the lunar phases are okay.
It's also complicated, right? All right, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. Merry Christmas. Who knows? We may do a little surprise live.
It's like
we'll do
fun.
something for Christmas. Yeah, because I'm here for Christmas. Are you leaving for Christmas?
I'll be here through Christmas, and I think I'll leave the day after Christmas.
Okay.
So I'm that's the whole thing, because my niecey gave me a buddy pass on. She's a flight attendant, so like I can jump on a plane now.
Good for you.
I'm a jet setter.
Good for you. I'm going to Miami Beach next weekend.
Ooh, are you going to South Beach?
I'm going to. I am.
Look. No, clothes are optional.
Well, good, because nobody could tell if I had my shirt on or off.
Would you stop it?
All right, guys, we got to go. We love you. He's got a Christmas party to get to, and we appreciate you guys being on an hour earlier. If you like 6 o'clock rather than 7, let us know. I mean, I don't mind doing 6.
Mind either,
yeah. All right, guys. Love you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Appreciate you.
That was fun.
That was
They're
fun.
Still not watching this right
I don't
now.
have a clue why this will not turn off. Okay, go right here. End live video. See, it won't let us. End.
Can we do something embarrassing? We're like,
no, don't. End it. Look, we can't stop this. Yeah, it's not gonna. You know what we're gonna have to do? Okay, this is bad news. All right, guys, y'all are still watching, and here we are. It will not let us. Something has happened to my computer.
The skeleton took a shower. The skeleton took a shower.
It won't let us do
any of this. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
All right, guys, we love you. I know you guys are still watching. Good Lord, I'm trying to get us off of here, and it won't let us. It won't let me end it. It literally will not let us end this. This is the biggest bunch of crap. Do you want to end the video? Yes. And now there's all these things popping up. The Russians have taken over our